Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello. Thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's April 20th, 2009. Now, over this weekend, on the island of Trinidad and Tobago, there was held the Summit of the Americas, which basically had, North American countries, United States, Canada, Central American countries, Mexico, etc., Colombia, Dominican Republic, a bunch of Caribbean countries, Venezuela, etc. They all came together and had a little chat, and Obama basically shook hands with Chavez, and everyone is happy now with Venezuela and the United States. And if you believe that, I know of some really great land in Florida that will not be sinking into the sea anytime soon. Anyway, so of course those were the headlines. Obama shook hands with President of Venezuela and made nice, pleasant noises towards Cuba. That's all you really heard about it in the mainstream news. Now, one of the things they did agree upon was this thing called the Declaration of Commitment to Port of Spain in 2009. Declaration of Commitment of Port of Spain. And of course, Port of Spain is where the conference was held. Now, in amongst all this other stuff, all kinds of things, it's 22 pages long. If you're really bored, you can read it. Paragraph 43. We recognize the benefits of a digital society should reach all citizens of the Americas. Blah, 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 blah. A bunch of legal speak. They talk about this thing, World Summit on Information Society, the agenda for connectivity in the Americas, etc. We call upon our ministers and high-level authorities with responsibility for information and communication technologies and for health and education to promote the use of ICT in all those areas in which they can improve our public and private sectors and the quality of life of our people. So across the Americas, they're basically saying, okay, let's digitize all of our health systems. Let's digitize our education system. Let's digitize our telecommunication systems, etc. Bring them all together in a connected way. Now, what would this do? Now, of course, I mentioned before, buried amongst all the stuff in the stimulus bills and all this other stuff Obama's been pumping out, is this idea about increasing the use of computers within health services in the United States. Now, of course, you have this across the world. For instance, in the United Kingdom, the NHS has been slowly implementing a computerized system to store all of the medical records of all the people in the United Kingdom in a single database, to make them available to anyone. Now, of course, within the Americas, this has also been going on. And the plan is essentially, moving forward, that certain parts of the health system will be digitized. And you could find, for instance, in a few years that when you go and have a test or a scan, that the scan is actually checked by someone in a different country. Think it can happen? Wait and see. Now, further along within this document, they also talk about promoting environmental responsibility and sustainability. They talk about reaffirm our commitment to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which essentially is stabilizing greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Now, there's a quote in there, which is paragraph 58 of the communique. We recognize that deep cuts in greenhouse gas emissions will be required to achieve the ultimate objectives of the Convention, respecting its principles, notably that which states that we should protect the climate system for the benefit of the present and future generations of humankind. Now, how are they going to do this? They're going to do it with rather nasty carbon taxes. So the more wealthy countries will have to pay for this, whereas the poorer countries will be allowed to burn more greenhouse gases to get them up. So they aren't such, third world countries, second world countries. They become first world countries. Now, of course, this is all coming together. December 2009, Copenhagen. So another date to watch in the future. Now finally, there's another little bit in here. Strengthening public security. 68, paragraph 68. We recognize the importance of addressing the threats, concerns, and other challenges to security in the hemisphere. We reaffirm that our concept of security in the hemisphere incorporates the priorities of each state, very good, contributes to the consolidation of peace, integral development, and social justice. Then they go on basically to say, we reiterate our most vigorous condemnation of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Your version of what a terrorist is more than likely very different than what your government's interpretation is. You may well wish to check that out. So again, lots of different words, but essentially saying, we will strengthen our national capabilities and will continue to implement, as appropriate, the recommendations of the multilateral evaluation mechanism. This is paragraph 72. What are they talking about? They're talking about a common war on drugs, drug trafficking, weapons trafficking, money laundering, etc. So there's a whole bunch of new laws coming your way to prevent you doing things. Soon, you will not be able to do anywhere near as much as you would like. It's all being pumped down from the United Nations through these various summits. Okay, folks, don't believe the headlines. Study this stuff yourself. They're giving you little warning signs as to what's coming. They want this to happen, and they're going to go out of their way to make it happen. Peace, love, understanding, think about things. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Okay?